This video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, Fair Dealings, and we're also covered under the Digital Millennium Act. I'm your host, Good Energy, UFC 305, Australia, and Dricus du Plessis does it again, ladies and gentlemen. He takes out Style Bender, and he is on a roll. 10 wins in a row. That's right. Coming off of KSW and EFC, 8 wins in the UFC. He's taking out some of the toughest, the best middleweights, ladies and gentlemen. Strickland, Till, Brunson, Whitaker. And he now stops Stylebender by submission in the 4th round, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Stylebender was ahead on the punch statistics. And aside from the takedowns and the ground control, I felt he was winning the fight and he was headed towards victory, but he made a sloppy move, and all it takes in the middleweight division is one wrong calculated move, and he pays the price. If we take a look at the overall total strikes, 105 of 211 for Stylebender, 99 for 206 for Dricus. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, the significant strikes, the eds to Izzy, the headshots, the body shots. I just felt Stylebender did a good job of keeping his range and his distance, but Dricus on the ground just too good, and this is what happened here. One sloppy move. And listen, guys, we've seen the decline in Stylebender's game. He's now 24-4. He's had 12 straight championship fights, and anyone that's ever fought or boxed, you guys know I'm a former boxer. 12 straight championship fights. You're fighting the best in the world. Is it time to hang it up? This was the question in the post-match interview. A lot of people thought he was going to throw his gloves down and retire. Now, Stylebender has a lot going on. We all know he's into real estate now. He's big into investments. When I heard him talk about that about 4 or 5 years ago, I knew he was looking towards the end of his career. And he also started to say things like, look, there's other things to life. And I'm like, okay, once a fighter kind of gets, and we saw this with Mike Tyson. When people weren't scared of him anymore, that's it. That was the edge he had. And I did a video on the most intimidating sports figures poses. Serena Williams rocked back on the baseline. We all know this is primarily a tennis channel, right? Serena Williams rock back. That's very intimidating. I talked about how Novak, the greatest in the world, right? How before he would play Nadal, and in case you guys don't know, this isn't like basketball or UFC or football where opponents have different locker rooms. For the most part, when it comes to tennis, these facilities are small. And a lot of times the players are literally just one stall over from their opponent. And they have to be there 1-2 hours before the match in case there's a delay or anything. They're confined to this little space to where their opponent's warming up. They're looking at it, and it could be intimidating. And Novak has said this in the past. Watching Nadal warm up 10 feet from me, doing his routine, he's loud, he's obnoxious. I was upset before the match even started. It gets you frustrated. And when you're looking at these figures, these insane above life athletes, that are so good, so dominant, it's very intimidating. And I just felt Stylebender, once he started to talk about different things, I felt his edge was gone. And now people, they feel they can beat him. And we all know he's not the biggest for the division. I possibly think he could possibly cut a little bit more weight and move down. But the reality is 12 straight championship fights. He's one of the best to ever do it. 17-4 in the UFC. We all know that. I mean, like over 100 victories in kickboxing. He's skilled, but he's slowing down. And for the fight game, your window on top, look at Usman. The window on top, it's like 3 to 4 years. That's why we have to say John Jones is the best. But Dricus right now, 8-match win streak. And listen, guys, he's approaching the record for the most wins in the middleweight division. We all see there who's up at the top. Anderson Silva, Izzy, Stylebender number 2. And listen, guys, Chris Weidman, by the way, Weidman, great wrestler, great career. He's just punch drunk now. It's probably time to hang it up. But Dricus is there as well. How long can he go? If he continues to work on his ground game and his stand-up is looking really, really good. I think sky's the limit for him. And he said beautiful words. We all know leading up to the fight, there was a lot of drama about who's the real African. I'm not going to go there today. We're not going to go there, okay? Because we all know Africa, it's the resource. It's the continent that literally fuels the world. And we all know the origins of Africa, the oldest people to ever exist. They're from the motherland. So we're not going to go there. Izzy he's a class act. And I just felt that the hype to build the fight, I'm okay with it. And what Dricus said in the post-match interview, nothing but classy words about Izzy. He said, look, I do not want to be kicked by Izzy ever again. And he said, look, I have nothing but respect for him. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, if not the greatest striker to ever do it. So Dricus, beautiful words, a classy man, and he's a good champion. He deserves it. Now, the question was, would Stylebender retire? He kind of hinted to it, and he said, heck no. F not. He's not going out like that. But I do think he needs to focus on. I don't necessarily think he's as dedicated as he was in the past. And again, he's got a lot going on. And I'm telling you guys, once you have these businesses and everything going on, all this capitalistic investments, it's tough to really focus on your craft. And I talked a lot about Coco on the tennis network as well. And the reality here is Coco has a lot going on, and she's got a new boyfriend, and it's too much going on, to be honest with you, and it's affecting her game. But nonetheless, guys, Izzy Stylebender upset. It's not necessarily an upset on paper because the numeric lock was Dricus to win this match. But will Stylebender be back? We'll see. Stay tuned, guys. I'm signing off. Good energy. UFC from Australia did not disappoint. Izzy loses.